Hello, and welcome back to the Dark Mod, Lord Dufford's. We finally got into the sewers, trying to find Ziggy's secret area. Gross. Oh, I guess. Oh, that's why the buildings are condemned up above. Maybe. Sewers collapse under them. Is this where Ziggy sleeps? Oh god. Yo, blood. Whoa, a giant walking mushroom that stuffed the pagan smoke, sure strong stir. What? Oh dear god. I'm sorry for this, by the way, everyone. Yo, sewer not safe. Where is that accent from? Giant mushroom keeps wandering through my place. Smells horrible like rotten pig meat. That nice ring I found is in my stash in other sewer, which I found. Tried to kill giant mushroom by causing sewer to collapse with some stuff the builders gave me. I told them there was a belcher infestation in the big sewer complex near Quintock Cathedral. They gave me some sticks, told me to light the candles, bit then tossed them into the open belcher mouth, then run away fast. Used the sticks to try and destroy mushroom mist. It limped away into the darkness. If anyone finds this note, then keep your thieving hands off my stash. I know the Red Rogue. Me get him to visit you in the night and pinch everything got nailed down. Oh, will I then? Unless this be you, Red Rogue, reading this. Then help yourself. Come see my fine collection of keys me found in the sewer. Every Wednesday evening in Chapel Gate, the builders gave me own stall to sell me stuff out for free. Your ragged man. Okay. Was working late one night near the water tank, saw Rodney Bark dancing in the moonlight. Giant mushroom crept from the dark. Shadow near the water wheel scared me half to death as it crept closer to the dancing radiate? I don't know what that is. Changed into a man that looked like young Cedric Fungi's father. Then the man grabbed Rodin and crushed the life from her with his bare hands, then stuffed her limp body beneath the old water wheel. Oh, dear God. The man changed back to a giant mushroom and crept back into the darkness and disappeared from sight. Handed my notice in to Lord Dufford's a week later, placed water lilies I got from the King's Mill ponds on Rodian's grave. She liked them a lot. Strange thing about the water lilies, though, when she started to work for the Dufford's, huge white water lilies started to grow on that water in the water tank for the water wheel. That's a lot of water, a type of water lily that I had never seen before, and I've never seen again, as when she died, that water lily ceased to grow. Wait, what? We know of only one water wheel, so I'm assuming that the... Don't know why I hit O. This is odd. I'm assuming that the water wheel was... If there was an actual mushroom, was where the... Here's another placard. Okay, I was probably supposed to open that. Well, here's the third clue. Okay. Is where the mother died, unless I'm getting everything mixed up, which I very well may be. Third clue. The king's bottom sat here, looks up and sees the trees. On one of those branches is the next clue. So a tree by the Lord's bottom. Or the king's bottom, or whatever. Which is a very big building, unfortunately, but let's look for a tree, I guess. This is actually proving to be much bigger than I thought it was going to be. Less people to deal with. Shut up! But definitely bigger. Again, I think it's bigger than it needs to be, but that's just me. Looks up into the trees beyond one of the branches. I don't remember seeing any trees around here. I mean, what if the tree done got chopped down? Yeah, this entire building right here is the King's Bottom. I can't get in there, so that's not something that's going to happen. Might have to come back for this. Alright, let's see if we can find where Mom's buried. It was killed by the giant mushroom. That is... But not surprising for this mission, for some odd reason. Like I said, this place is just cavernous for no reason. There's supposed to be belchers raised in there. This is the only water wheel we've seen. No lilies. But they also said that they stopped growing here. There's nothing for me to interact with. I don't know. Alright, well, there's the sewer entrance over here. Which should be open as well. Just gotta climb over the fence. Let's see where that goes. That third clue, though, is really strange. There it is. Let's take me down to... Ow. Oh, okay. Well, we've already been here. So we need to find the third clue. I have no idea where to look. There are no trees around the King's Bottom. So, let's reread this. Look up and see the trees. The King's Bottom sat here. Oh, wait. They might not mean the actual pub. Huh. There are a couple things that can be considered thrones in and I think around the compound. So gotta be over here. If it's actual trees, it's going to be outside, right? But you could also make an argument that tree leaves are beams as well. They've just been cut into beams. That's not necessarily the case, but there is a seat underneath a whole bunch of beams inside. Yeah, we don't know whose grave this is, so... no luck there. On both sides of the huge hall in here, there was seats that you can consider thrones. This is the one that interests me the most because I haven't climbed up here. But this is King Urgo's vacant chair. So do you mean the antlers or the actual beams up there? Wrong button. Yep. I could be completely wrong. I don't know. I don't see anything up here. Do you guys? Alright, we can't open that. From what we know now, it can be opened from the other side. Oh, wait, what's over there? There it is. Okay. Got a key. And the fourth scroll. Twin fires, statues 4. Look to the wens, see the note, and look to the floor. 4 statues. Ow. Alright, we're just gonna leave that there because I don't want to hurt myself even more. 4 statues. The only thing I can think of is out again in the garden. The memorial. Over here. Yeah, I can't think of anywhere where there would be 4 statues. And when you say look to the winds, do you mean look to the west? See, there's 4 statues here. Twin fires, though. That's... I don't know what that means. Look to the winds and see the note. Look on the floor. Okay, let's... see the note and look at the floor. Is there supposed to be a note around here somewhere? The trees, maybe? On the ground? Saw something in the textures, and it was just that, textures. I could be in the wrong area. Twin fires. Twin fires. I have no idea where there would be quote-unquote twin fires. In the basement there were torches, but again I can't light fires. There's 2 statues here. No statues here at all. Huh, this one is tricky. I don't think there was anything inside that had 4 statues, unless you count busts of statues, and even then it's only 2. Twin fires, what the hell does that mean? 2 fires in here, but that don't help. 2 candles in here, I guess. No statues. Erg. Alright, well, I'm going to look around, see what I can find, and when I find something worth noting, I'll be right back. Here. Here's twin fires. Shit. Let's go by sound, I guess. There we go. Another secret passageway. Chaz, if you're reading this, then so close and yet so far. Bentley, if you're reading this, then ignore Chaz and go back to the wine cellar. Now we'll try it. Alright, we have a key. And one last clue. So close and yet so far. So that means the same spot just down, maybe? What the fuck? What the hell? I found something. You do. Don't mind if I do. This is one of every type of loot? Well, I found where he stores the loot. I deserve this. There's my objective, but that doesn't mean I have to stop now, does it? Some emeralds, I'm assuming? Damn it, get in there. Might be something underneath the hat. Nope, just hats. Sorry. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Small gear? I mean, it flashed green, but it didn't go on there. The Barks. Rhodia Bark was a wood nymph. I've known this since I found her in the kitchen garden, oh, so many years ago. The builders at the time were trying to eradicate all nymphs from the city and the surrounding forests. My wife took pity on Rhodia, and we hired her as my wife's handmaiden. When Rhodia mysteriously died, we adopted her daughter, Evelyn Bark. We buried Rhodia Bark in the kitchen garden, the large tree, so that's who's buried there. The large tree that stands there now sprouted from her grave not long after she was buried. We tried to tell Evelyn Bark that her mother was a wood nymph, but she never believed it. Although she loved the tree that grew on her mother's grave, she couldn't expect that the tree was her mother in tree form, her human form being destroyed when crushed by the water wheel. Ah, so it was the wood nymph that was crushed by the water wheel, by the big mushroom thing. This is the last will and testament of Lord Edward Dufford. My nephew Chaz Fongay is not a Dufford. His mother was my wife's handmaiden's daughter, the handmaiden Rhodia Bark, died in mysterious circumstances, crushed by the water wheel at the back of the castle. My wife adopted the daughter, Evelyn Bark, and brought her up as a relation. Evelyn Bark married Cedric Fongay, the mushroom seller, and they had a son, Chaz Fongay. I leave Chaz Fongay 10,000 in gold from my private reserves, and this is more than he actually deserves. I leave all my worldly possessions to my son Charles Dufford, who entered into the service with the builders 120 years ago, taking with him the verbal permission for the builders to look after the spire of the shooting stars, which resides within the land they rent off the Dufford family estate and cannot be undone by King Urgo, the vacant, or any lower-ranking officer of the city. Wait, what? 120 years ago? Okay. The Thin House. Chaz asked me about the thin house in the garden. I've been wondering about it myself. So I told him that a very thin gardener lived there. Chaz is out there now trying to get a glimpse of the very thin gardener. So what is it, damn it? The Darkness and the King. The Darkness was bought to this world about 100 years ago by a pagan ritual. They were trying for Herney the Horny Hunter, oh my, but got the complete opposite instead. As there weren't many pagans left after the ritual, as the darkness that they got consumed most of the pagans at the ritual, it is actually unsure what they brought into the world. It is theorized that they brought one of the old banished gods back. Although recent discoveries make it look like they brought the actual fungi lord into the world, the one that reigns over death and corruption. Ah. As the dead have been arising in the old walled-off section of the city where the darkness came through, and the tunnels beneath the city that the darkness used to get to the Lord Slyfinger's castle. Then the king's castle are lined with different types of very rare fungi. Lord Slyfinger's castle is a ruin, looks like it's been a ruin for thousands of years, yet it was destroyed, oh dear Lord, only 100 years ago. I'm sorry, reading this is really strange. Once the darkness invaded the king's castle, it somehow possessed King Urgo the Vacant. Zith the sorcerer erected the light barrier around the king's castle to protect the rest of the city from the darkness within the king. For every 100 years that pass, only 1 second passes within the castle. Zith the sorcerer tired from the work to erect the light barrier, went somewhere to rest and was never seen again. The Sorcerer's Tower was taken over by the Mages Guild when some of them moved north to a place within the Dragonspine Mountains. It was then taken over by Zot, the magician. He didn't stay there very long and was finally evicted by our current Baron de Planck due to causing the frog plague of the 66, when there were frogs that seized the size of piggies. Do what now? Okay, yeah, I need to process this. I'll be right back. Okay, well, let's read the rest of it, I guess. The magician's shop. Hey, the key for the shop is hidden in magic. The shop can only be opened by the one key is waiting for. What? The key can only be given by pages of history. The shop can only be opened by the one that was promised. The door can only be opened at the right time. What? Spire of Light and Darkness. The spires were erected by Zith the Sorcerer over 3,000 years ago. They feed magical power into the central tower to be used by Zith in his magical experiments. Well, that's what Zith told me. The spire protects themselves with a magic field that turns you into vapor if you enter the field. The fields cannot be turned off, and the fields are a byproduct of the crystal at the top of the tower absorbing the magic from the skies that it has been attuned to absorb. The crystals then channel the magical product towards the central tower. Good God, this is a big dump. Wait, what? Dragons and their blood. An ancestor of mine, first Dufford, Lord Dufford the Stupid, did kill the dragon living in the caves at Quintock, on the field at Quintock, by valiantly wedging himself in the dragon's throat. The dragon then exploded and died, its throat filled with blood, and Lord Dufford the Stupid did drink a large quantity of this blood to stay alive. Okay. Zith the Sorcerer did then turn up and freed Lord Dufford the Stupid from the dead dragon carcass. It was only then that Lord Dufford the Wise did learn of the strange properties of dragon blood in its raw form. It has the ability to increase your intelligence tenfold and increase your life tenfold. This increased intelligence and life is passed on to your descendants on the male side of the family. Dragon blood is in its refined form can extend your life indefinitely, but you need to be a sorcerer like Zith to actually safely produce the refined dragon's blood, as it has the habit of exploding when compressed. So that's why it was like, 120 years in the builder's service or something like that. All right, let's look around at the rest of the save area. Chaz, if you're reading this, then I've spent the lot. Lord Dufford. I mean, great. I got what I needed out of this. I guess that's where all the other treasure would be. We still have other things we can do. Why does this come down here? Wait, what? Why bother coming down here? This is obviously a door, but I can't open it unless I find something. Like that. Turn off the light just in case. Oh, it just comes down here. What now? Where are our objectives? Lord Rodney has hired you to find out what officially happened to Lord Dufford. How do I not know that? I still don't understand how I don't know that. But we also have this small gear, the Dufford family ring, and the 4th clue key that I haven't even used yet. Why does it come out here? Any more things to turn? There's supposed to be something down here? I wonder why there's that crack right there underneath the floor and there's not on this side. Like the floor is lifted away. Odd. Huh. So I have a gear and I have a key. I wonder if the key goes to the map we saw at the very frickin' beginning. Alright, well, we've found our way to the end of the clues. Got everything we need, but the first objective of all things. This is very odd, I must say. Well, let's run back to the beginning of the level and see if we can get the map. Maybe it's like a secret objective. Find the super secret. And why would I get a key and a gear I haven't used in any place? That seems quite odd to me. So up here, near the library and the big clock, was this. No. I can pick it? I thought I couldn't pick it. It's just a map. Why did it click? What? Huh. Alright, let's go back to the beginning and see if maybe that first one I already got somehow? No. Somehow I don't have the first objective. What? This makes absolutely no sense. Alright, I'm gonna look around and see where to find this key and this gear, and I'll get right back with everybody. Let's see when I get back. Are you kidding? Well, I found out where this... It automatically put it in. That normally doesn't happen. But, okay. This is a model of the towers, maybe? I don't know. Copy of map room seen in Sorcerer's Tower before Baron bricked it off. Glass tower represents the Sorcerer's Tower. Black light pours from the Darkness Spire in the south. Red light pours from the Star Spire in the west. White light pours from the Light Spire in the north. Yellow light pours from the Sun Spire in the east. Between the Sorcerer's Towers and the Darkness Spire and the Temple of Stone, representing Earth, taken over by the King as his castle, entrance to it blocked by the Light Barrier, known location of the Fungi Lord. Between the Star Spire and the Sorcerer's Tower is the Temple of Fire. Actual location lost, used to be occupied by the knights of this area before the city was built. The strange gate around my castle are all that's left of the temple on the surface. North of the Fire Temple is the Temple of Water, known to have been used by the pagans to accidentally bring the Fungi Lord back into this world. Main temple underground, entrance used to be in the Drac Grove, old name Drake's Grave, where the Black Knight Drake was buried. Not Drake's whole goal, which is in the mountains north of Quintock. Drake Grove in the walled-off section of the city. There was said to be an entrance to the west docks under the builder's fort there. North of the Temple of Water is the Great River, then the Dragon Spire. Mountains begin somewhere in the Dragon Spine Mountains in the Temple of Light, representing air. Now, to destroy the fungi lord, 5 red crystals are needed, plus the 4 spires need to be emitting their light, and the sorcerer's tower need to convert the 4 lights into the 5th light via the crystal on its top. The last baron encased this crystal in concrete after he failed to bash it to pieces, exploded it, burn it. All 4 temples are activated somehow. They don't make it easy, do they? I suppose it was easy for the dragon lords to do this, but for mere mortals it seems impossible. Now the 5 red crystals fit in the statues around the Temple of Stone. Once the 5th red crystal is fitted, also known as the keystone, the light from the 4 temples and the 5th light from the sorcerer's tower pour into the red crystals. Then some type of energy is created that hunts down the fungi lord and kills him. I didn't mean to do that, so I'm sorry. But okay. What? I guess that's where the ring went. Red Rogue. How did they know? Reg. If you're reading this, then I have a task for you. I had Lord Rodney hire you if I disappeared. You're more than likely to figure out the clues I left Chaz to find the secret room, or perhaps find it by chance. If you're here reading this, then I'm dead. I need you to recover the Dufford family ring and place it on the red pad on the desk. This will open a secret box. In that box, you will find your payment and a bag of red rubies for Lord Rodney. If you read the letter for Charles, then your reward has been cleansed, and so have Lord Rodney's rubies. Plus, am sure, my son, when he returns, and Lord Rodney will have a lot of work for you in the future. Am likely to have died somewhere wet, either the big water tank behind the castle or in the sewers below the castle. If you find my body, leave it where you find it. It won't rot. One of the weird properties of infection with dragon's lubrication fluid. I thought it was blood. My son has the task of finding my body. As with the ring, you won't be able to open the vaults. You can try if you want, but the vaults can only be opened by a Dufford. Zith the sorcerer forged the ring, so I wouldn't try to mess with magic like that. Okay, so I can't open that. Charles, if you're reading this, then am dead. As you know that... Wait, this is the same one. Right? Yeah. No, it's a different one. Never mind. I'm insane. Charles, if you're reading this, then I'm dead. As you know, the Dufford family is blessed with a long life. You'll need the Dufford ring to access the dragon gold. Keep it kept in the lower vaults. It should be on the desk there on the red pad. If it's not, then you'll have to search the water tank and the sewers for it. It was prophesied that I would die in water. If you find my corpse, get the builders to intern it in the family vault in Quintock Cathedral. Invite all the lords to the funeral and wake, and the baron and the gardeners and their families as well. You may have to rehire the gardeners. Chaz may have sacked them. I told Lord Ribald that if I disappear, then that he could offer the housekeeper and kitchen staff jobs in his estate. So they went there anyway, cool. He always likes the cook's meat pies. So you'll probably need to hire a new housekeeper and kitchen staff. The guards should also be invited to the funeral and wake, although Chaz is likely to have sacked these as well. If so, Bentley could be found fishing at the King's Mill Ponds or in the bar at the King's Bottom Inn, or in his house opposite the magician's shop. While Private Jones can be found in one of the twin chapels, the King's Bottom Inn, or his house opposite the sewer access control building. The dragon's treasure must be treated before it can be sold on the merchants of the builders. It needs to be washed in salty water, mixed with essence of Belcher breath. Zach McCleckley, or one of his descendants, can supply the essence if he disappeared on one of his hunting expeditions to the deserts of the southern regions. You can get some of the pagan traders at the market. You may have to go through a middleman. The Baron doesn't like pagans. Lord Rodney sometimes has some, but it depends if he's beaten Lord Shipping at cards in one of his gambling dens, although Lord Rodney expects a treated red ruby as additional payment. You'll have to cleanse the dragon treasure yourself. It will poison anyone not to have been touched by the dragon's own lubricating fluid. As with all dragon treasure, there's a catch. We managed to empty the vaults. You'll need to fill the vaults up with worthless stone and bits of broken glass. Then leave the junk with the dragon power core. After 10 days, the power core will have spun its magic and turned the stones and glass into golds and gems. Fancy. So let's save. I think I read the note that they're talking about. Well, I'm not poisoned and or dead. That's good. So... I still haven't... Lord Rodney has hired you to find out what officially happened to Lord Dufford. I mean, I completely have. He even knew he was going to die. I don't understand. What do you want me to do? I still haven't found the 4th clue key. Or, I mean, I found it, but I don't know what to do with it. What am I missing? So apparently I can't get in here. I'm lost. I mean, the first objective should already be ticked off, right? So what did I miss? What exactly did I miss? Yeah, I'm completely lost. I have no freaking clue. I'll go back to the beginning and see if that's it, but I tried that before and it didn't work. Yeah, I'll be right back. Are you... Please tell me there's something in here. There's a book. There we go. We found the housekeeper's notes. We know she was loyal, so that's why she up and took everybody and left. Castle notes. Sometime in the past, Lord Dufford made a deal with the builders. They rent land off the Dufford estate and pay 1 gold coin a year for it. They also pay our wages. Me, the cooks, the gardeners, the guards, and the castle budget. It is all paid for by the builders. The money we get is from the actual rent of the land. The 1 gold coin is what the baron taxes, so 10% of that 1 gold coin goes to the baron in tax. For some reason, not arguing with Lord Dufford on this, Chaz has never been told this, so am not going to tell him. Chaz says Lord Dufford is dead, got killed by some steam beast in Bridgeport. Lord Dufford had gone to Bridgeport to see his son. He was studying at the big cathedral there. Chaz has read the will bit early. Okay. Lord Dufford's coffin has arrived from Bridgeport, yet we haven't had the wake. The funeral and the after-wake. The will's not usually read until a week after the after-wake. According to the will, Chaz has been left everything. Obviously, the will's a fake. Although it does have the Baron and Plaque's official seal on it. No mention of the son Chaz probably doesn't know about Lord Dufford's son, and I won't tell him. Chaz has hired Ziggy the sewer boy as his go-getter, given him full run of the castle, caught him smoking that pagan weed in the kitchen, sent him to the stables to smoke it there. The way that stuff burns with a cold blue flame, there's no way to set fire to the hay in the stables. At least he can stink out the stables with that weird-smelling stuff, and not the kitchens and the food. Chaz told me that he's having a banquet this weekend, and after it, we're all sacked. Reason? No money. Obviously, he doesn't know the builders pay our wages. Going to stay with my cousin, taking the kitchen staff with me. My cousin works at Lord Ribald's. Left a letter for Chaz saying, am going to work with Lord Ribald. Not exactly true. The cook can soften Lord Ribald up with her meat pies, so that he will allow us to stay there while we wait for Lord Dufford's son to turn up. I've sent him a letter, the son, to tell his father, tell him his father's dead. It'll take 6 weeks for the son to travel to Bridgeport to here, because we are so far away from there. Even if he comes by the fastest steamboat, it will still take 6 weeks. Pity the dragon riders aren't still around. They could do the trip in 6 hours. All right, well, we got it. One thing we can do, I don't think we necessarily need to, is go get the Lord's body again and put him back. Thank you for being loud. Back in the aquifer, the bit with the water. The area with the water. You're not the Lord. You're the Lord. Come with me, sir. Lord Dufford the Fourth. If he's actually the Dufford, I don't actually know. Because they have a very long life. Because of the dragons. So I have to go all the way back up there? Oh, man. That sucks, the big one. It's not too far away, but still. Yeah, he lives not forever, well, possibly forever, if the wizard distilled the dragon's blood. But, yeah, there's some weird shenanigans going on around here. But, yeah, again, this place is just so big. It's actually supposed to be a temple, or what's left of a temple. Whether that's the walls or the building itself, I don't know. But we got paid, and supposedly we're going to have more work. I don't know if there's a sequel to this map. I really don't. I'm going down a list of all known maps for all known fan missions for the Dark Mod, and this was literally just the second, or the next one in line. So beyond that, I don't know. Oh, dear God. I'm sorry, Lord Dufford. I should have never taken him out of the tank. I don't think I need to return him. But the letter said that I was supposed to leave him there so that when his son arrives, he can find his body and prove that Chaz killed him. Which way are we going? I don't remember. Through here? Yeah, through here. Why do I have to hump you all the way back here? I had no idea I wasn't supposed to take him. I was trying to do the right thing. I swear, if you fall off, I will be very upset. Nope. Don't. I said don't fall off. There we go. Sorry, man. Well, he's back in the water. Not where he was, but he's back in the water. Damn it. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of story around here with wood nymphs and long lives and dragons being stupid and then smart. Yeah. Lots and lots of magic. And the builders are helping them, which is strange. Don't know how that works. But up we go over the top. And let's get the flock out of here. Actually, I didn't check. Yeah, I did check. It seems like that would have been the first thing I did, and I guess it could have been if I would have found the secret compartment. I don't think that should have been in a secret compartment. I think that should have just been a book on her desk or something. I mean, it makes sense that it would be secret, but as far as gameplay-wise, I'm not so sure. Where am I supposed to go? Church gate. Okay, so church gate is this way. I went the wrong way, damn it. Normally it's returned to the beginning, so you'll have to forgive me for being Lord Stupid over here. Yeah, this was definitely fun to explore, but really more of an exploring map than an actual map. Obeyed. Mission complete, baby. Yeah, it definitely seems like there was a lot more planned and written out, but I don't know if they continued with it at all. Mission statistics. Whoa, I got a lot of loot. And only 7. There wasn't very many AI. I think that was the problem. But that's fine. It was still a great mission. Remember, again, this is an older mission, so there's only so much we were able to... They, I never released anything for this. They were able to accomplish. But regardless, it was fun. But anyway, if you enjoyed my nonsense, a like, comment, subscribing, and hitting that bell icon would be greatly appreciated. And this has been Boylag, signing off. Bad man. Oh, you can. Oh God! Close the damn door, please. Oh God! It scared the crap out of me. Wasn't expecting that. Come in. I mean, don't come in.